Alright, so I'm going to be changing some things up in the fish room. So I figure it's about time I give y'all a tour. Sorry if I'm breathing heavy, I just got done shoveling some snow. Yeah, that's how far I am behind. But in this tank we got some guppies from Dan's Fish. There's the male, a male. He's still small. Then, you know, all these tanks have a bunch of plants. I'm not going to tell you them all because we'd be here all day. I have like over 100 species, so. And there's a little bristlenose pleco action going on. As well as some SAE somewhere in here, as well as Malaysian trumpet snails and all the snails, really. Can't seem to spot the SAEs, but they're in there eating stuff. Down here we got some cherry barbs. That's a male. That's a female. Then some platies. Some blue stripedy ones. That one looks like a Mickey Mouse. Blue Mickey Mouse. That one's a lot more speckled. They're just kind of mutt blue platies. Nothing too specific. There's some more. As well as a bunch of plants. Got to zoom out here. Here, let me get the... There we go. That's some Kabamba red bellum covered in mulm, basically. I need to get another power head like I have in the back to kind of clear the front out. But yeah, that's this tank. None of my tanks have too many fish in them. It's mostly plants. This tank just has mutt guppies and as well as stir-by corridors. Right there. This tank's also pretty bad on the hair algae, as you can see. But it's improving. Lots of snails. There's mostly just ram's horn in this tank for whatever reason. There's some pond snails too, but it's mostly just ram's horn. There's betta and tuta in this tank, which is a wild type betta. There's the male there hanging out on the ground for whatever reason. And the female's somewhere in here. She likes to hide a lot more than the male does. But you can see actually it's not coming out great on camera, but there's some green in him too. As well as just the blue. Not sure why he's doing that. He usually doesn't do that. I wonder if he's sick or something. It's probably just chilling though. Can't seem to find the female, but she's in there somewhere. Lots of plants, so it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, let's go over here. I put that guppy in there, the female, to eat some hydra that was in here, and she dropped some fry. I took most of them out, but I left that male for some reason. And her back's all messed up, so I don't really want to be breeding with her. She's not of the highest quality, so I guess it's a good thing she's in here, I guess. And then there's some loaches, the little ones, like the, what are they called? The Coca-Cola or whatever. They like to hang out in the box filter, like inside of it at the bottom. So I'll just put a picture up of what they look like, but they're like super small. There's a male tiger batis, black tiger batis, a male in here. I had a female, but it jumped out. Not sure where he's hiding out. He usually hangs out behind the box filter or in the cave. I don't really want to stick my hand in there because I just cleaned most of these tanks, the front of them. So I don't want, you know, the glass cleaner to get in the tanks. Maybe I should have thought ahead a little bit, but oh well. This is my orange tank shrimp. Orange shrimp tank. There you go. Can tell there's also some snails. I need to can't think of the word, but, you know, like take the best out and put them in a different tank. Start my colony over, because some of them are getting kind of red and not the orangest and everything. But that's all that's in this tank is shrimp, and I got them eating some maca fluentis from the algae-ridden tank. It's been in there a few days, and it's basically gone all the algae. They look a lot more red on this camera for whatever reason than they do in person. They are much more orange in person. Just have the camera, you know, the colors or whatever messed up a little bit. That's okay. In this tank, I'm growing out stir-by corridors. You may have seen them all run to the back like they like to do. This plant is I forget the first name, but Gibba, the bladderwort, the carnivorous plant. I like to use them in my grow-out tanks because you can see the little pods on them, hopefully. Focus. Yeah, like right there. So that's the biggest thing they can catch. So they're not really going to catch any fry at all. Unless they're super tiny. Like, I don't even think they could catch rainbow fry, to be honest. It'd be like first hatch, but, you know, they're not going to catch much. But I like to have them in my breeding tanks because you don't get hydra and all the other stuff, and you can feed as many live foods as you want. And so there's also, a few ram's horns in here. And they're there. I can see them swimming around. They're pretty big now. I need to move them out, but I'm planning on switching things up in here, like I said, so I don't want to, you know, move them into one of the larger tanks, and then I'm going to move, you know, some of the larger tanks around, so I don't want to have to catch them back out. So they're staying in here till the next $1 per gallon sale, at least. This is a red shrimp colony. There's some El Nino ferns in here, babies. They're doing all right, as well as Anubias, looks like some Christmas moss and some Java moss. Here's one of the reds on top of there. Looks like some moss is growing on that box filter, but yeah. The shrimp, I don't have nearly as many of the reds, and they like to hang out in the moss, so you're not really going to be able to see them. Ooh. I used to have aquatic isopods in here, but they all died, and there was quite a bit of planaria, as well as like some leech. Look at that shrimp. He looks cool. He's like black. But there was planaria and some leeches in here too. That seemed to kill all the isopods. The snails and shrimp are just fine. But they seem to kill the isopods, or I had skill issues that killed them, but who knows, really? I figure if I can keep the snails and shrimp alive, they're pretty similar. You know, they're all detrivores, so I wouldn't think they'd be that different. So I put some corridores in here, some from that tank to stir-by, to get rid of the planaria. And so far, it's working pretty good. I'll have the video out on that probably before this one. You can see the Swasser tang I got from Stephen P. is not doing great. I may move it to a different tank, but I don't want it to get all caught up in my other plants either. It can be kind of a pain with that. So, yeah. But they've done good at killing the planaria. I need to get me some more isopods, but, you know. This tank, I have some Bosemani and dwarf neon hybrids in here, and they actually look pretty nice. They're definitely a lot more interesting than the neon, and definitely a lot worse than the bosemani. But they have blue, and then they kind of have some green along their lateral line, as well as the black, but like some green just kind of above and below. And whenever they're breeding, the males get a nice red, racing stripe forehead thing like they like to do. And they all have red fins, and I don't think these are all male because that's just, seems unlikely. So it seems like the yellow and red fin of the dwarf neon got lost whenever it went to the bosemani. It was a male bosemani and a female dwarf neon, by the way. They were just in a retirement tank because all their other friends passed away, unfortunately, and they ended up breeding. So I have, looks like 6 of them. I didn't put, effort into keeping them alive too much, but I kind of like them. They're several years old now, so this is about, I assume, as big as they get. Actually, they're like 4, maybe 3 or 4 years old. And they're kind of an in-between size between the bosemani and the dwarf neon. So, and then there's a few guppies floating around in here as well. There's also a bristlenose, a female, and some coolie loaches that, they're coolie loaches, so they're hiding. They're the bigger standard coolie loaches, as well as a silver coolie loach, which, let's see. Nope, they usually like to hang out there, but they're somewhere else. There's some. Right there. My sister got me those SpongeBob guys for Christmas, so that's cool. Oh, and by the way, I turned off the air just so it's quieter. These are usually, hunting. And this tank just has some least Killifish, Morpha formosa, or whatever. That's not the right name, but they're in here. There's some red shrimp in here as well. These killies are so hard to see with all the Java moss and junk in this tank. Or, well, they're not killies, but, people call them killies, so I'm calling them killies here. There's one. It's a female. She's still a baby. There's another. Focus. That's a male. It's not really wanting to focus on him, but he's a male. There's some more. There's quite a few in here. Mostly they just hang out in the moss. I got my food, fish food in there. I have my Linear air piston pump hanging out in here. Got the air loop. Then up here, I just have floater grow outs. I sell plants, so it's nice to not have the floaters shading out all your other plants like I do in that tank. That's why it looks so bad. But get up here. I hate the 3 high. I will say. I think this is the only 3 high I'm going. It's just with these. So see, we got some red root floaters, some Salvinia cocada. There's some Cardamine lacanta. What do you say it? I don't know. And some giant baby tears. No relation to the dwarf baby tears, by the way. In that tank, that's just going in there. I haven't bothered to take it out, so it's staying in there. Got some tiger stripe frog bit. And it gets more stripy and more light. This is just a cheap little shop light, so it's not doing too great. Some floating bamboo. Happy floating Buddha. I can never remember how to pronounce a scientific name, but the common names are, Always something kind of like that. Something having to do with Asia and then like floating. And then there's some hornwort in that one. Okay, and there's one final tank in this, well, two final tanks. There's a 60 breeder that's waiting on me to get done with this. And a big mess in here. I know I really need to have a trash pickup day, and I've been needing that for quite some time, but you know how that goes. This is my, well, it started out as a biochoke tank from the creek next to my house, and I put this plant in here to get it to flower so I can confirm, you know, the species it is, and it's flowering some, but the flowers aren't in like full bloom, so I can't really tell what it is. And I think it's because I have the glass tops on here, so it's just kind of too humid and everything. And I really need to get some mesh tops for a variety of reasons. Number one is the sides. It's like this on the front. I just cleaned the front today, but it'll look like those sides tomorrow because the frogs and the snails and stuff, they climb up on it and they get it all dirty. But yeah, the frogs, you can see they're really skinny right now. The flies kind of crashed a little bit, which is what I feed them mostly. They have to eat live. You know, there's some snails and other stuff in here they can eat. But, you know, I have to supplement it with other live foods. There's two of them in here. I'm not sure where the other one is. And they're both females, so they don't croak, so that's nice. But, you know, I got some bean beetles as well as some rice flower beetles to help supplement whenever the flies aren't producing as much as they should. And then there's also these 4 tanks that are shut down right now. They're my experiment tanks. I've decided I'm going to wait till I get more tissue cultures going so I can, you know, do the experiments. But, you know, the plants will be clean, so whatever algae comes in, you know, it won't be like accelerated by the algae that was already there, you know. And this is where I have most of my live foods. I guess you count there's some cocoa pods and stuff in this tank, but I don't like live foods that you have to suck out of the water. It's just kind of difficult. But yeah, I have my bean beetles upstairs as well as my dubia roaches because I have an assassin bug upstairs, and this is already kind of overflowing, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, that's the setup here. I got auto dosers on most of the tanks except for the ones on these racks, and I'd like to get them set up on auto dosers as well. If you didn't know, if you buy them right now, the new Jabbo dosing pumps, they should remember their settings if they get turned off. Like, you know, the power goes out or something, whereas the old ones do not. So if you haven't bought one in the last couple of years, and it's because they don't remember their settings, you know, they do now. At least the one I bought did, you know, so that's good. That I just have some stuff in, and yeah, over here is where I do my fertilizers as well as shipping stuff and also tissue cultures and a lot of other things, so it's kind of a mess. I need to, I don't know. Maybe have like ship somewhere else and do my fertilizer and tissue cultures over here, because right now it's like real bad. And I also store my dechlorinator and fertilizer over here too, so it's a real mess. As well as other stuff like these leaves and glass cleaner for some reason. As well as some urea. A couple of plants that I never got around to planting. And looks like some filter floss. Yeah. basically that's it. I guess I'll tell you what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on getting some more of these 60 breeders, 3 more. Having one right there, 60 breeder, 60 breeder. One right here, 60 breeder, 60 breeder. And then moving this 40 rack over there where the 20 is and getting rid of the 20 and the 55. And I'll have to move that somewhere else because it won't fit with the 40 breeder there. So, yeah, I guess I'll clear out something over there. This was never really meant to be a fish room. It just kind of happened. This is the front room of the house I live in, and we never really used it too much. We just kind of used it to put stuff in, you know, the stuff you don't know what to do with, but you don't throw away for some reason. Yeah, that was this room, and I started moving fish tanks in, and yeah, that's it pretty much. I never completely cleared out everything else. As you can see, there's a pot over there for some reason, as well as some old curtains. I don't know why I didn't do it beforehand. It would have been a lot easier, but yeah. I have brine shrimp hatchery there. Blood torches for killing aphids. Yeah. I guess that's it. Bye-bye, guys. See you later.